Hello and welcome to the Rope Break podcast with me, Kev, and
I'm Dan. What's going on, guys?
yeah, what's going on? Well, a lot's been happening actually, and we've been busy, and it's been busy in WWE. We're coming up for the Royal Rumble, which is next Saturday, not this Saturday, next Saturday.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know about you, but it's not. I don't know what's happened. It just feels a little bit like I don't know. Like it doesn't feel Royal Rumble-y yet.
Yeah. I think probably because there's just so much going on and so many different storylines, it doesn't really feel like it doesn't feel like there's anything specifically going on that's Royal Rumble related. It's kind of like even the couple of matches that they are kind of like teasing for the Royal Rumble, it's kind of like longer storytelling, so you kind of know that's it's not like it's not leading up to anything big at the Royal Rumble. The only thing really that's not Rumble match related is the Fatal 4-Way, AJ Styles, on LA Knight, and Roman Reigns for the title. But even that's like the only one big thing that I know on Raw, Rhea and Becky had a thing, but is that match happening at Rumble, or because that to me feels more like a WrestleMania match?
Yeah. Well, not this Monday, the following Monday, Nia Jax came out and said that she was going to win the Rumble and go after Rhea as well. So,
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe they're sort of building up. My personal choice for the Women's Royal Rumble winner would be Bayley.
Yeah, same. Mine's Bayley.
And then for her to go up against Io.
Yeah.
Because there's like the tension going there. You know, they had a match. You know, they've had matches where she's interfered when they've told her not to. She had a match this past week where she threw I can't remember now who she threw out to the ring and was telling them to beat her up, and they were like, no, we're not doing that. And she was like, yeah, come on. So there's something going on there. It looks like that's what they're building towards. You know, Bayley versus Io.
Maybe have the rest of Damage Control turn on Bayley at this SmackDown.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Because we kind of want something to happen where everyone's cheering for Bayley in the Rumble match. Everyone wants her to win, and I think the only way doing that is either this SmackDown coming up, or obviously the last opportunity would be next week's SmackDown. Is if they all turned on her. And then everyone then in the Rumble match is going to be cheering on Bayley. I've seen a lot of people thinking that AJ Lee is going to return and win it. I think there is a chance that AJ Lee will return, but I don't think she'd return and win it.
No, she. So that's another thing. That there hasn't been much sort of teasing about who we're going to have. Like, because they normally have one or two appearances, don't they? People coming back. I think AJ will be one of them.
I think Naomi's 100% returning at the Rumble. She's just finished up, hasn't she?
With TNA.
TNA. She's literally just had a final match, hasn't she? At the what was it called? I can't remember the name of the pay-per-view that they just had.
Hard to Kill.
Hard to Kill. That's it.
Yeah. Because obviously TNA has come back now. So I mean, I remember TNA from way back, 2006, 2005, when it was like getting big, where they had people like AJ Styles and Kurt Angle and all those people, Christian and all them. So it's good that it's gone back. But yeah, she's just Naomi's just finished up, and there is rumours that she's planning on returning.
Yeah, so, I think that's a cert. Another one that we've kind of been mentioning for years with the men would be Matt Cardona, but people have been saying that for the last 2 years and he hasn't. So who knows?
Hey, he's coming back.
You reckon, Braun?
Yeah. Well, he came back. He got injured. I think he's not injured anymore. So I think the Royal Rumble might be a good way of him coming back.
Yeah. I just kind of I feel like he's it's such a shame, but I feel like his career is just going to be a litany of injuries. You can just kind of, it happens obviously a lot to the more, if the bigger wrestlers. If you think of how much weight that they've got to be carrying about, he got injured before he got sacked. He then came back and like a couple of months later was out injured again. It just kind of feels like he's just going to be ruined by injuries, which is a shame because when he is fit, he's certainly a big attraction.
Yeah.
Because the only one that they've got, is size that's terrifying is Omos, but Omos is shit. So it's like,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you've had there's quite a lot of injuries actually. You've got Ricochet's out with an injury. Obviously Charlotte as well. She just come back from an injury and literally got injured again.
And now poor Cora Jade on her 23rd birthday.
Yeah, Cora Jade out for a year, they reckon now.
Yeah. Well,
whole year.
She's only just cut. Well, it's funny that they tweeted, that she'd only just come back from an injury and now she's out again with an ACL tear. She weren't injured? Well, she had a tits done. That's why. She had breast augmentation. I think they call it. Don't they? Yeah, she did. Yeah. So but it's a shame. She's really good for her age, given how young she still is. She's very, very good. I
think there's a few coming up from NXT for the women.
There's been a lot of botches as well, aren't there? There's been a lot of botches. There's been a lot of botches. If you look back over the last 3 or 4 weeks, LA Knight had a botch. Do you remember? That might have been a couple of months ago now. He tried doing a suplex off the top turnbuckle and it went horrendous. For a second, I thought he'd snapped his opponent's neck. It was really bad. And then they ended up having another match the week after and it ended up going really well. But you obviously had the Asuka Charlotte was a botch, which tore Charlotte's ACL.
That was her own fault. I think she'd done a moonsault and caught her leg on the top rope or something. And that was down to her. But I think that was just bad luck. She knew it was bad luck because she was. You could see she was clearly pissed off in the ring afterwards. She'd clearly seen what she had done.
Yeah, but you had the whole bloody Ridge Holland and Ilya Dragunov thing. Was it a botch? Was it an injury? Was it a work? Who knows?
No, it was a work.
But even still, it's just a coincidence because then you've also had Vinci. Obviously got booted in the head and the ref threw up the X, and then
he got concussion. He's not. He weren't there this week. I think he's off for a couple of weeks.
And then there was one.
He just had. You had Grace. What was it? Austin Theory and Carmelo Hayes. Yeah, both landed straight on their heads. Yeah.
So that I've just reeled off about 6 botches. It's happened in a month. It's what's going on at the minute.
I know.
To be honest, I think it might have been a mistake. Triple H giving them Christmas off. Maybe they've all had a few too many of them. I don't know, but
they've pulled an Arsenal. They've done really well, and then come back after Christmas and they've crap.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't. I know Tiffany Stratton. She's due to come up, and so is Nikki from NXT. I think they're due to both be moved up or be in the Rumble anyway. So it'd be interesting. I don't know from the men's side, like NXT wise, who would come up, who ain't up already.
Braun,
because Braun, do you reckon?
Yeah, it is
Baron.
Yeah,
do you reckon Corbin and
yeah.
I don't know, maybe
they've got the size, haven't they, where they can actually, if you think that both Baron and Braun entering the Rumble, they've got the size where they're going to get a few eliminations because it does favour the bigger, stronger,
Yeah.
Well, if it was realistic, it would favour the I think it's like this is kind of a thing, which is why I think. For all the things that me and you have slagged Vince McMahon off over the years, one thing that he has always done really well. If you think that, how many people would consider Undertaker one of the best to ever do it? You know, one of the all-time greats. You know, my all-time favorite. Like the amount of people that worship the Undertaker, he didn't have that many title reigns because, and I think it was done deliberately because I think Vince thought, well, it's not real, but we want it to look, we want it to seem real and feel real and look real. If it was real, who the fuck's beating him? It's like, you know.
Yeah.
I think, you know, it's a little bit different with Brock. I know Brock's had a lot of belts, but every time Brock has had a belt, he has had it for a long time. Obviously, there is cases where, you know, I mean, if it was a real fight, name me someone signed to WWE who's going to take Brock on in a one-on-one fight and beat him. Probably nobody. Like, the guy's an absolute monster. So, but I do think that kind of, you know, it's like Braun. Braun's never had, you know, long. I know he was been WWE champion a couple of times, but he's never had it for very long. I think the really big, you know, the big athletes that they've had, it's like, you know, Kane and Big Show. They didn't have title reigns that like Orton's had and Cena's had and Edge had, and you know, it's always been the smaller guys that have had really long, you know, title runs, because when you look at it, Undertaker was 7 foot, you know, terrifying to look at when he was doing the whole dead man thing. Realistically, who's beating him? So you kind of in a position there where you're like, when you give him the belt, well, you know, who's beating this guy? So they kind of try and not, you know, they try to make it not about a belt for him, didn't they? But
I think, you know, going back to the Rumble, I think I don't know, like, men-wise, who's going to win it. I don't see CM Punk winning it. I don't know. I just don't see him winning it. It's the same with Cody. I don't see him winning it either.
I think it's going to be CM Punk.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, only because I think they do want to do Punk Seth for Mania. Unless, to be honest, I think they could throw a curveball. It all depends on whether they want Priest to cash in before Mania, and is he going to be successful? Is his cashing going to be successful?
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with Priest at the moment. They should have cashed him in a long time ago, and I think they've left it now too long to sort of go, well, what do we do with it?
Yeah, I just kind of, I think Seth drops the belt at Mania because I think he does genuinely need some time off. He injured his knee in the match against Jinder.
Yeah.
But he's got that many injuries. He definitely needs some time off to rest and recover. So I think he's definitely dropping the belt at Mania or earlier. For me in here, when I think about it, it's because is it going to be Rock Roman at Mania? Because if it is, Cody's then not finishing the story, is it, Mania? Cody's not winning the belt.
There is
unless someone wins the belt at Rumble off Roman. But apparently, if you believe all the dirt sheets and all the wrestling journalists, they're all saying that they're not planning on having Roman drop the belt for a while yet. So I don't know. I just think if the main events are Cody, Roman, Punk, Seth, there's loads of ways that you can get that Cody and Roman story happening without Cody winning the Rumble.
Yeah.
Whereas I think because he's barely wrestled. He's not even wrestled a match on TV yet, has he? Punk.
No.
So like, and his first televised match is going to be the Rumble match. And then you're only then 2 months removed from WrestleMania, and he's barely wrestled for the last 6 months. So I think unless he wins the Rumble, I don't see a way of him getting a title opportunity at Mania against Seth. I just don't see it unless he wins it. But then again, if you're asking me, I think we win either way, because if Cody wins the Rumble, he's the first person since Stone Cold to win it 2 years in a row. You know, there's so many things. I can't see anyone other than Cody or Punk winning it, because if it's not them, then who? Braun,
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Braun maybe.
Drew
Braun.
McIntyre.
Drew could win it, yeah. Drew, I don't know. I kind of because there's a lot of rumours that they want Bayley to win the women's because she's probably the best women's wrestler that's never won a Rumble match.
Yeah, and you've got to think Charlotte's not there now, so I think they want another baby face because they brought Charlotte back as a baby face, and then she's injured, so they're sort of like, well, what do we, I think Bayley was always going to move into that baby face anyway.
Yes,
it always seemed like she was going to.
Yeah, I agree. But I think for me, it almost feels like if it's true and they are going to give Bayley the win, they'll probably do it with the men as well. They'll probably have a man win it who's never won a Rumble.
Yeah.
So in that case, well, that means Punk ain't winning it, Rhodes ain't winning it, McIntyre isn't winning it. They've already won Rumbles, haven't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're kind of in a situation now where Finn does Finn Balor, win it. I still think that there's. I was whole. Do you remember when Balor gave Priest his new briefcase, and everyone was going, "I bet Balor screwed him. I bet the contract isn't in the briefcase." Blah blah blah. I wish they'd have done that because that would have been genius storytelling. Now I'm not being funny. They can't do that now. It's too long ago. Way too long ago.
Not only that, I think now with R-Truth, like sort of with Judgment Day, they've sort of, it's brilliant, but I think they've made a little bit of a joke of the Judgment Day now, which seems to me like they're going to be breaking up the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Why would you turn like a dominant force like the Judgment Day into like this comedy factor? It doesn't really make any sense, other than the fact that they're going to be broken up at some point.
Unless this run with Truth being in the Judgment Day doesn't last long. I mean, look, I'm not complaining because, to be honest, the R-Truth segments
funny as hell.
They're my favourite parts of Raw at the minute. It's just.
I love it. He comes out. He goes, "Ever since I've been born, I want to be in Judgment Day." I was thinking, he's like 53, 52 years old. Truth. I remember he used to say that about John Cena as well. When I was a little baby, I used to watch John Cena, and I was like, "What?" I remember when he come out. I remember when he come out in the Rumble, and he put a ladder up in the middle of the ring and went up, and he was like,
"Yeah."
And it's the wrong match.
I don't think anyone in the history of WWE has ever done a comedy gimmick the way he does. He's just so funny. And
then that time when he broke Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar in the same segment together.
Yeah, mate, to be honest, I think the only one who he struggles to break in the Judgment Day is JD. JD does keep a straight face really well.
Yeah.
I mean, Damian Priest is awful. He's always biting, like chewing the inside of his mouth, like don't smile. But his comment on Raw about I tried to search for Nick on Facebook and I couldn't find him. Is he all right? Where's Nick? Fucking hell. He's brilliant. Like
I like the fact as well. He was giving money. He was giving money out to everyone, and JD was like, "Where's mine?" He goes, "You have to be in Judgment Day. You can't. I ain't got no money. You have to be in it."
He's brilliant. He's brilliant. Yeah. That I feel like that you do. You tune into. When you tune into Raw in particular, more than a SmackDown, you do kind of get a bit of everything. You get some very, very good wrestling matches. You've usually got at least one good storyline going on, especially over the last 12 months. And then you've got those comedy segments. But they've how many comedy gimmicks have they done over the years, and none of them can do it as well as he does.
Well, I don't know. I remember Santino Marella. He used to do. He was really good at doing them as well.
Yeah,
he was fantastic at them.
Do you know who I actually think is really underrated? Like I see his stupid little face and it makes me laugh every time. Akira.
Yeah.
Do you know Akira Tozawa, little Japanese fellow with Alpha Academy.
He's out with Alpha Academy.
Just some of the faces he pulls. He's funny. He makes me laugh. I do miss Otis though. I missed old school Otis. You know when he was with Tucker
Mandy.
Knight. No, but yeah, Mandy and like when he was with.
Oh
Tucker
yeah,
Knight.
when he was heavy machinery. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's. I mean, also as well, I've noticed that they seem to be using more and more of the stars as well of the wrestlers.
Yeah,
they're using more and more. Like they've added, like you're saying, Tozawa to Alpha Academy, and you've now got, obviously on SmackDown, you've now got the Street Profits with Bobby Lashley, and you've now got Killian
AOP.
Cross with AOP. And it's sort of like, whoa, they're sort of building up all these. They're using everyone, even if they're not used, they're in some sort of group, which makes me think they need another They need another tag title on SmackDown. They need to split the tag titles up, but yeah,
what do you think?
It's great that they're using it, and everyone in the back as well. When they do a segment in the back, like everyone's normally there as well. So it's great that they're using it. I don't know what they're doing with Nikki Cross at the moment, but I do love the fact that she's just stands
in a world
there with the blank face, even when she's wrestling like that, and they're like tagging her.
I don't like it. I don't, mate. Honestly, I would never hit a woman. I would never hit a woman. But do you remember when she was stood next to Corey Graves, just staring at him?
Yeah.
I said to her, I'd have cracked her, I'd have punched her in the face. Like it was really creeping me out. I didn't like it at all.
Well, she's really in a lot of the back. If you're watching a lot of the backstage segments when they're sort of interviewing that, she stands right in the back, just staring.
Yeah,
and it's like, what are they? I don't know what they're doing with her character.
It really, mate, it really creeps me out. Every time I see her, I'm like, I'm not going to look until she's off the screen. She really creeps me out with it. I don't like it.
It's when she comes out, she stands there. And I remember they had I think it was a battle royale or something, and she just stood in the middle.
Yeah.
And everyone was fighting round her.
But then everyone looked at her, threw her out. She didn't even. She
just got back up and just walked off.
Just stood there.
Yeah.
You're creeping me out, you love.
Like I said, I don't know what they're doing with her. But yeah.
Tell you what I did see on Twitter yesterday. It was a clip from a live stream that Dakota Kai had done, and mate, she went off on her stream. She weren't happy. You could tell she weren't like, swearing and taking it too far. But do you know when you can just tell that someone's holding back? They're about to blow, but they're trying not to.
Yeah.
She was really pissed because apparently a load of people have been saying, everyone knows that you're returning at the Rumble. And she's like, I'm not clear yet. I'm not, I'm not clear yet. And everyone's like, oh, I'm calling bullshit. I've seen pictures and videos of you, at the Performance Center jumping and running and stuff. And she's like, well, yeah, because I'm in rehab. She's like, you're not just injured for 9 months, and then all of a sudden after 9 months, just jump up, right, you're cleared, you can wrestle again now. Yeah, I am running and jumping on it because I need to strengthen my leg back up. She went, I don't know if you understand how injuries work. You don't just sit in a wheelchair for 9 months and then it's a miracle. You're right, you're cleared.
Yeah.
A lot of hard work, but mate, she was getting so angry. She was fuming. I was like, oh, I think I'll click off that. She's getting a bit pissed off here. Yeah, she weren't. But to be fair, she does make a good point. Some people are like, oh, well, I've seen a picture of you jumping and stuff. Yeah, I'm trying to strengthen my knee back up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Be like, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So maybe, I don't know. Maybe she is. I like the fact that even though she's injured, they haven't kept her off TV, and she comes out with Damage Control each week.
Yeah.
So she's still relevant, even though she's injured.
It's something that they don't usually do. If you notice that, when someone's injured, that's it. You don't see them.
Yeah.
I am kind of glad that they have done it.
Yeah.
They've obviously told her to be careful, and she can't get involved in anything and stuff. But I've never, to be honest, I've never really understood why they do that. And it was very much a Vince thing, obviously, because there's been a few people that we've seen backstage that are injured and stuff, and since Triple H took over. So it was obviously a Vince thing, but I've never quite understood it simply because how many times have you seen people that are injured, got a really bad injury, and they write them off TV by attacking them? And it's like, so someone's legitimately injured, so in order to write them off TV, we're going to have someone beat the living piss out of them backstage to write them off TV, which that's got more of a chance of actually causing more damage. But then you won't allow someone who's injured to be stood ringside just in case they get hurt. It's like, hey, I don't get it. I don't understand that.
I don't know if any of us will. It's one of those weird decisions that I think they make. Yeah. And it just doesn't really work, does it?
Do you think that maybe WWE should take a little bit of a leaf out of AEW's book and bring in a trios titles?
I've said I see a lot of people actually mention this. There's enough of groups now, but WWE goes through this sort of motion where they'll have a lot of teams like they've got now, a lot of factions, and then they'll get rid of them all. And then we'll have a couple of years with none, and then we'll have some, and then they will have loads again, and then it dies off. Sort of goes in waves. And my only fear is that they do that, and they'll just get rid of them, like the titles. Like, I hate it when they do that, when they bring it back, and then they just sort of get rid of it for no reason. Like, they don't unify it; they just get rid of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's enough factions for that to be justified. But do you make one where it's just all brands like the tag titles are at the moment, or do you have ones like for SmackDown then for Raw? I don't know, because they sort of seem to be splitting all the titles up at the moment. So.
Yeah, I don't really know. Yeah, I don't really know. It's like people saying that there should be tag titles on Raw and SmackDown. There should be women's tag titles on Raw and SmackDown. And I'm like, it for me, it's the only thing that has made me go, probably best to not bring the trios titles in, because it's like, it is one of my like pet hates with like AEW. It feels like everyone's got a title. Like, when there's so many different titles, it kind of makes having a title not really special anymore.
Yeah.
And like, that's not the way it should be.
No.
Having a title should be very, very special. And I don't think it's like you've got AEW Women's Champion, TBS Champion, bloody TV Champion, and then you've got bloody there's just so many different belts. It's like I can't even keep up with what they're all called. Though. To be fair, that's probably why I keep dipping in and out with AEW. I'll watch for a few weeks, I get bored, and then I won't watch it for weeks. I think they do kind of overkill things, like things that you only want in short amounts to keep it special, to keep you wanting it, keep you wanting more. They don't, like these really brutal matches where there's barbed wire around a baseball bat and thumbtacks and the really fucking brutal matches. They'll happen in WWE once or twice a year, because then you're like,
they're special.
You're in, it's special because you don't see it all the time. You tune into any episode of Dynamite, someone's bleeding, someone's getting fucking a skewer through their head. Like it's like just like it's every single show something happens.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bit brutal. But when it's every show, it kind of becomes a little bit like, well, it's not special now, and it should be.
Yeah.
But I do think that it's like AEW could probably improve as a product if they try to do the good things that WWE do well, but they refuse to. They're like, oh no, if that's the way WWE do it, we're not doing it at all. Whereas WWE have gone, oh, AEW have started doing a press conference after the pay-per-views. It's a fucking brilliant idea. We're going to start doing that.
Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah.
It's like they haven't. For me, the WWE haven't made any. They've made it so obvious that they've started doing a press conference because the AEW ones were so successful. But
yeah, well, they used to. Years and years ago, WWE used to do press conferences, but only for like upcoming pay-per-views. So like to promote like WrestleMania, to promote the Royal Rumble, what they'll do is they'll have a press conference where they'll have a couple of wrestlers there promoting, they'll have all the journalists there promoting like the Royal Rumble, but they'll do it sort of like in October, so a couple of months before the Royal Rumble. And they used to do that all the time back in the day, but then they stopped them. So I don't really know why, but yeah, like you're saying, they took the idea. They go, "No, that's a fucking good idea."
Yeah, exactly.
We get all the wrestling journalists in here, and we'll invite them along, and then they can speak afterwards. So we'll fucking do that.
And do you know what, Kev? Do you know what? Do you know why I'm glad that the WWE did it? Because of one thing in particular. If they wouldn't have started doing it, we wouldn't have had the Cody and Jay pissed out of the tits, giggling like little children.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen the clip? Oh, it's so funny. It's like every time Jay says yeet and Cody's just
they start laughing.
Like
I know.
a naughty little schoolboy sat in the corner, like you know, like remember when you was in high school, like you might have had a teacher that was nice looking, and you hey, she's fit, isn't she? And you're giggling with your mate at the back of class. So they were like two naughty little schoolboys. It was so
I know.
funny.
And Jay was so he was so slurred.
Yeah,
you could tell that they were absolutely hammered.
Brilliant! It was so funny. And obviously, I mean, I found it hilarious after after Survivor Series when obviously CM Punk had returned and Triple H walks in the room and goes, "Look, there's only one place to start. Let's get rid of the elephant in the room. We've had a massive return. R-Truth's back. Come on, let's go. R-Truth's back." They have been, to be fair, I've only seen 3 or 4 of them, but the ones I've watched, they have been pretty good. They've been pretty funny.
Yeah, they've been pretty good. It's been really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't. Like I say, there seems to be a lot of title matches at the moment, like for the world heavyweight title as well. I don't know if you've noticed that as well. It's like, okay, yeah, I know he turned around and said he wants to be a fighting champion. That's okay, but he's had one. He's had one on Raw with Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
Jinder obviously just now. So it's like, okay, I get it, but I don't know what it's building up to, because like you're saying, obviously apart from the match we're going to have with Roman, what else is there on the Rumble? And it's only next Saturday. It's only another week to sort of sort it out. So it's like, oh well, no, hang on, there is another one. Sorry, we forgot the other one. That's obviously Kevin Owens versus Logan Paul.
Yeah, see, but like that. To be fair, you know, I think that was just. I understand it from a commercial point of view. It's bringing, you know, viewerships in and money in, but I think Triple H has got so much right that how was he dropped a bollock this bad with Logan Paul? Because it's like Vince years ago when, you know, if you go back 25 years, Vince had his ear to the crowd. He knew what they wanted because he would find out what the people wanted. Triple H has gone on live TV and berated the champion. It was only like when they brought in the World Heavyweight title, he said, it's because we've got a champion, Roman Reigns, who's never here. So, you know, he kind of did slag Roman off.
Yeah.
He's never been here. But then Triple H is the booker, decides to give the US title to Logan Paul, who's never there. You're like, why the fuck have you done that? It's like,
I hope, but it's like you're saying, I think it's good that they've done it and it brings eyes to the product, but I don't want him to hold it too long. I really don't want him go. I've got a feeling that he's going to go into WrestleMania as US champion. I don't want that. I'd prefer it to be Kevin Owens.
Yeah, I'd probably give it Owens, and then at Mania I'd probably have Owens versus LA Knight, and I'd have LA Knight win it at Mania.
Yeah. I don't think he wanted it long anyway. Like you're saying, he's not there. So I don't want him having it long if he did have it, but I've got a funny feeling he's going to have it till Mania. I
just kind of feel a little bit like yes, it brings in money. You know, there's going to be people that are Logan Paul fans that aren't wrestling fans that will watch it because I do kind of get it a little bit, but at the same time, like you need to your wrestling fans are your bread and butter. Why are you pissing off you hardcore wrestling fans who are going to follow you, who've watched me and you, who've watched every episode of Raw for the last 5 years, when for 3 of those years it was absolutely dog shit and we were falling asleep, yet we tuned in and watched every week. Oh, no, it'll piss us off as long as he gets a couple of 14-year-old kids in the fucking mum's basement tuning in because, Logan Paul's on it. I don't get it. He's obviously gone, it'll bring him money, it'll bring him more fans. Yeah, but you're pissing off your hardcore wrestling fans by giving another belt, a big belt. I mean,
he's very good. I've got to put it up to him, right? Okay, he's very good in the ring. Yeah, he's a good wrestler.
He's going to. Yeah, but
But I think,
I've been saying this for 12 months. Fucking do it then. Be there every week.
Yeah.
Because he is good. He is talented. But if you want to do it, do it
properly. Yeah. Do it properly.
Like it almost feels like, you know, when Edge came back and Edge would only have one match every 2 months, and you know, Undertaker getting on, he'd have one or two matches a year. Like, you can't treat Logan Paul like that. Come on.
No.
When it's a legend of the business who've, you know, given the body's blood, sweat, and tears to it for 30 years, then you can use them as like a, you know, a special attraction that you don't see all the time. But you're doing this with Logan Paul, who's had about 7 matches, and as good as he is, he's good in the ring, but he's shit on the mic. No one likes him. Like, he's
definitely playing into his character. I would say it's definitely playing into his character. And he's obviously a big wrestling fan as well. So
I'm annoyed because you can see so much talent in him. Now, look, I get it. You know, he's got his bloody Impulsive podcast. He's, you know, all the other stuff. He's probably not got. He's not got the time to be there every week. So don't give him a belt then.
Yeah.
Like, but for me, I'm a wrestling fan. I'm not a Logan Paul fan. Like, and as a wrestler, he has genuine, serious talent. I can't think of. Yes, it's like I remember. John Morrison slagging him off on the Chris Van Vliet podcast, and he is right. You know, when he had his first match, he's like, "Oh, Logan looked amazing." He's like, "Well, he had 2 months working every day with King Shawn Michaels. I'd look good and all." Like, you know, like he has been, you know, no one's had that treatment. No wrestler has had one-on-one training every day for 2 months with one of the greatest wrestlers, if not the greatest in-ring wrestler to ever live. No one's had that. So, of course, but you've still got to have some natural ability and talent to go along with it. And he's clearly got it. But I wish that he'd go, fuck it. I'm going to be... He's busy and he's got a lot of other stuff on, but you're telling me that he couldn't be on it's 1 day a week. So he knows that Monday I'm at Raw. You've still got 6 other days to get everything else in.
Yeah.
If he wanted to, he could be at every Raw. And if he did, what a wrestler. It's like, you know, the fact that he put on a very, very good match against someone like a Ricochet. And do you know what? When he had the title match against Roman Reigns, he didn't look out of place.
No.
You can't really pay him any more of a compliment that he's had a match with Roman Reigns, Ricochet, and Seth Rollins, and he's looked really good in all of them.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I think he has been on SmackDown. He's just been commentating. I think he was He wasn't there last week, but I think he was there the previous 2 weeks. But he was just commentating. Well, he wasn't even really there. I think it was when he was watching the matches with Kevin Owens. But I do like the fact that, you know, that he's going up against Kevin Owens. Like you're saying, he's had matches with some of the best, you know, at the moment, you know, Ricochet, Roman Reigns, and now Kevin Owens. Sort of like they're sort of saying, well, he's good, so we'll put him up against some of the big people. Like you're saying, though, but I don't like the fact of the titles. I hate that Roman's not there every week.
Yeah.
As a champion, he should at least be there every week. And Logan Paul as well. I hate it. And it was one of the big cripes when obviously Brock Lesnar had the title.
Yeah.
And Roman's the same because he's not scheduled to be at the Elimination Chamber
or the one in France.
Yeah. So
but I'll be honest. I do. I know I'm going to sound like a fucking hypocrite here, but if you let me explain.
Yeah.
When it's Roman Reigns, he doesn't have to be there every single week. With Roman, minimum once a fortnight on SmackDown, and he should be defending the title at every pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Because of how big of a star he is, he doesn't have to be there every single week. And it does, like, when Roman is there, it takes a lot of fucking TV time. So if he was there on SmackDown once a fortnight, the week he isn't there, there's a lot of TV time for everyone else there, and
Yeah.
you know, he's almost like that good at what he's done over the last 3.5 years. I don't think he's needed there every single week, but he should be defending the title at every single pay-per-view. And people saying, yeah, but he's been injured for the last couple of months. Take the fucking belt off him then. And apparently it's because they want Roman to break Hulk Hogan's record.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, but so
it's just like
that's like
I've noticed it with this era, Triple H's era, that he seems to be going for like, I need to break all the records to sort of go, well, that was that era. This is it. This is ours.
Yeah, but
so he wants to break away from everything else.
Yeah, but Kev, where the fuck do you stop, mate? Where do you draw the line? Oh, right. Because what he's done is like, right, I want Roman to get to 1,000 days. He did that. Then it was, right, I want to break the 3-year mark. He did that. You know, he's now on like, you know, over 3.5 years. Now the next one is, I want him to break Hulk Hogan's record. So after he does that, is Triple H then going to go, fuck it, let's take Bruno Sammartino's record as well? He had the belt for 7 bastard years.
Yeah.
But like, where are we drawing?
Where do you draw the line? Because I think they've got to a point as well now. They've got to a point with Reigns where they don't like. Who would you have beat him? Because he's beaten like you said, he's beaten everyone.
Probably the only one now is Gunther.
Yeah,
the only one now is Gunther. But you see, here's my thing though, right? You as a wrestling fan, how pissed off are you that you've got a champion, main champion who's barely ever there? He's there. You know, sometimes he can go 5 or 6 weeks without seeing him. Same as Brock when Brock was there. Pisses us off, right?
Yeah.
But if I then turn around to you and said, right, let's fast forward 6 months, right? And me and you were doing one of these podcasts, and I say, right, Kev, we're now at the point where Roman's broke Hogan's record. He's had the belt for 4 years and 2 months, or whatever it is. Are we ever going to be in a position again for someone to break Bruno Sammartino's 7-year record? No. So do you kind of go, what if I said to you, if you was Triple H, would you kind of go, well, fuck it. We're never going to be in this position again where we can break Bruno's record, and Roman's over halfway there.
Yeah.
But then you've got a champion who's going to have the belt for over 7 years who's never there.
It's a long time in wrestling. I mean, to be fair, I think he's always going to go down now in history from what he's done.
Yeah.
A lot of people saying, are we going to get The Rock Roman at WrestleMania? It was something that The Rock even said was pitched to him for a couple of Manias ago. But it didn't work out.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
It was last year's Mania at Hollywood.
And then obviously he obviously came back. He dropped that little hint. Maybe I should be the head of the table. And then we obviously know he was part of the deal for Australia getting the Elimination Chamber, because one of the things they said was, if you want it here, we want The Rock. So I think they went, yep, okay, we can bring The Rock down. But I mean, I don't see it happening at WrestleMania, because I mean, do you get the? I mean, if The Rock wins, I mean, then what?
So,
you know what I mean?
So for me, here's how I do it. Genuinely, here's how I do it. I truly, genuinely, with 100% of my being, believe that match does not need a belt.
No, it doesn't. No.
So I would scrap the whole Roman breaking Hulk Hogan's record and all that. I genuinely would, because I do think then if he does break Hogan's record, the questions will be asked. Well, can he break Bruno's? And that's 7 years. You know, I would have at the Rumble, I would have The Rock come out and cost Roman the match, and I would give the belt. For me, I'd probably give it to Randy or AJ. Randy or AJ, but for me, probably Randy. You'd then do Cody versus Randy. I would give it to Randy because Cody and Randy have got a long history. They go
Yeah,
back
yeah. But
years and
they're
years
a
and years
tag
and
team
years.
together.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, legacy and stuff. Yeah.
So it would almost become the protege would beat the master because Randy
Yeah,
was the leader of Legacy,
of legacy.
and Ted DiBiase Jr. and Cody Rhodes were behind him. They were the young guns. So for him to finish the story against the guy who was his master, you know, I think it's just it writes itself. It's poetic. I would have Roman screw over. I would have Rock screw over Roman at Rumble, and I'd have Randy win the belt. That sets up Cody versus Randy for the belt at Mania, and then you can do Rock versus Roman at Mania with no belts involved. And for me, I would have Roman beat Rock because
Yeah,
Rock
that's
definitely needs to retire. And
I think that's what I would play it a little bit different. So I would have Roman lose at the Rumble, not without the Rock, and then he's not scheduled to be at the Elimination Chamber. So I would say that Roman goes into this sort of like self-denial, like no, I'm not. And then the Rock does a promo at the Elimination Chamber saying, look, he just lost his belt. He can't win a match this year. He's no way ahead of the table. I'm going to challenge him for the head of the table, and then for the Rock to put over Roman Reigns at Mania, because they've even said it themselves that they missed the moment to put Roman over fully with the Undertaker.
Yeah,
because they had Brock Lesnar beat him, and they said it should. Even the Undertaker's come out and said it should have been Roman the following year when Roman Reigns beat him. But obviously the streak had already ended, and they said the streak should have ended. The Undertaker said it should have been put over as a young guy.
Yeah.
And it was going to be Roman Reigns, but Brock Lesnar did it, and I know both from even Brock himself was pissed off with that. So this would, I think, like saying, I think this would solidify Roman if he could beat The Rock and say, "Look, I am the head of the table. I am the top guy now." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then for The Rock to bow out, sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. I think for The Rock's last ever match to be against his cousin.
I mean, they could do it. They could do a big ceremony at Mania as well. Big Samoan entrance for the both of them.
Yeah.
All the family.
Yeah, you'd have all
the family there. You know, Rikishi, all of them. You know, Tamina, everyone. Get them all there.
Yeah. Do you know what though, mate? Like, I think it would be. I think, look, Roman will never be as big as Rock. Rock just had something very, very special in terms of what he had with the audience and how over he got, and I don't think it's almost impossible to kind of reach that Rock and Stone Cold kind of level. I think it's nigh on impossible to kind of ever reach that point. And 99% of people never will, regardless of how good you are. I mean, like, for me, the best in-ring wrestler I've ever seen is AJ Styles. But he's nowhere near Rock and Austin in terms of that fucking, you know, like, I kind of feel like Roman will never be as big as The Rock, but The Rock was only in the WWE for 6 years, and only 4 of those years was he a big game player. His first 2 years, he was in the league. What was the fucking faction called?
The Legion of Domination.
That's the one. Yes, obviously, like the first 2 years, Rock wasn't really a big name player. It was only his last 4. He only had 4 years where he was at the top. Roman Reigns has had over a decade at the top. Roman's achieved everything that The Rock would have achieved if The Rock would have stayed, but he didn't. So I kind of think that Roman deserves to beat Rock, because I think even though Roman will never be as big as The Rock, he's achieved a hell of a lot more. He's stayed relevant and he's stayed at the top of the WWE for over a decade, which, you know, is really difficult to do, you know.
Yeah.
So, I think that kind of writes itself. I'm kind of worrying now, because I think the other title match at Mania, I'm almost certain will be Punk and Seth. But if they're going to do that, Punk has got to have at least 4 or 5 matches or more probably between now and Mania. His first match is going to be the Rumble. He's then got to start having, like, if someone as big as Cody Rhodes, we all know Cody Rhodes is the new John Cena of WWE, and anyone who says he isn't, you're fucking foolish. Cody Rhodes is the current face of the company. Forget who's got the titles. Cody Rhodes is the John Cena of this era. He just is. It's as simple as that. So, if Cody is having singles matches on every Raw, why can't CM Punk?
Yeah.
You know, have him wrestle the Rumble, whether he wins it or not, is then got to maybe put him in the Elimination Chamber match. You know, have him matches on Raw, have him have a match at the France pay-per-view. He needs to be having matches. Otherwise, if he's only had like 3 matches and one of them a Rumble match, which isn't really a wrestling match, do you know what I mean? It's very, very different. Then for him to then go up against Seth at Mania for the title and then beat him, people are going to go, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Whereas if he wrestles a lot between now and Mania, it won't feel that.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. I mean,
I think they're saving him. I don't really know why. Maybe they're waiting for something big. Like saying the Royal Rumble, I think this is going to be his first. It's not his first match. I mean, he had some people. He had a match with Dominic Mysterio,
Madison
which
Square Garden,
people went nuts for, and they said it was actually really, really good.
Yeah,
and both of them done really well in it. But I can see him having a match with Drew because he done that promo. Drew McIntyre came out, and they were, like you said, they were both in WWE at the time. Both sort of left around the same time. So yeah, he had the same promo with Cody, though, didn't he? They both left at the same time. They both made themselves better. They both left. So I can see Drew having a match with CM Punk down the line, hopefully before Mania. That would give him a match. That would give him a big enough match for Elimination Chamber before he goes in, because they could say, if he wins the Rumble, they'll be like, well, you know, Drew could, if he eliminates Drew at the last thing, that could set up a match between them two going into Mania, sort of thing. Or he could just say, I don't think you've got it. I don't think you've got. You need to go through me first, and then for them to have a fight.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's weird because CM Punk's come back. All he's done is promos. He has been interrupted every time he's done one. So maybe they're building up a sort of pattern where they said, well, he's interrupted him, he'll have a match with him. He's interrupted, he'll have a match with him. I mean, this Monday, CM Punk's on Raw this Monday, and he's and so is Cody. Apparently, it's the first time they're going to be on the show together since I think he's come back. So,
look, I don't really understand what they've done over these last 3 months, because you bring CM Punk back, it gets the biggest pop of all time, the biggest reaction of all time, breaks every social media thing ever.
Yeah.
You know, but not only has he not had a televised match in the last 3 months since he's come back, he's not even been on every Raw.
No.
It's like so. You've got to.
You want to capitalise. If you bring someone like that back, you capitalise on it straight away. You don't let it simmer. You fucking go for it. You throw him in. Every single Raw. Yeah, CM Punk's going to be in.
He was on Raw, then he was on SmackDown, then he was on NXT, and I thought, brilliant. And then all of a sudden after that, he's been on every other Raw, and that is it. How is... When he's just proven how big of a draw he is, how many fans he has, the numbers that he puts up in terms of viewership, ticket sales, merch sales, blah, 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 blah.
Well, the thing is as well...
Why would you not have him on every show?
Yeah. The thing is, I don't know what's happened with WWE recently. Obviously, Triple H has got ideas, but they're bringing back loads of people, and it's like you've got people already that you're not using. Omar's, I know we all crack on him and everything, but you remember you've got people like Braun Strowman, who was out injured. I think he's not now. I think Royal Rumble is coming back. You've also got MVP. Remember, still, you've got loads of people that they're not using yet. They're bringing back people. So you've got AOP coming back, CM Punk, and it's like that it just feels like they've got all these big names, and it's becoming a bit bloated. Especially with the situation you've got with Roman, where you've got he's not ever there. So you've got all these top guys, and it's like you're struggling to use or to do something with them because you've got all these other big egos as well, and all these other big, and you want to play them, you want them in everything, but your time concern is it's just I don't know what's going on. Like saying
but do you know what you just said, which is really funny? Everything you just said about, and you're right, I agree with you, by the way, what WWE are doing at the minute. But is this not what me and you were slagging AEW for off 2 years ago? It was.
Yeah.
This is literally what we were slagging AEW off for. There was constantly signing these big names, but there isn't enough TV time for what they've already got.
And that's the problem. I mean, even with Cross and obviously Lashley and that, you can tell that they've got no time for him, but they want them to be on TV. So what they've done is they've just like, all right, well, just play we'll just play a vignette, or they'll come out and attack each other, sort of thing. And it's like, we don't want that. We want them to kick shit out of each other. We want them to have a little one-on-one. What's going on? What are you building to? And then you kind of think sometimes you watch some weeks and and then the following week you kind of think, well, where were they? Where are they? They were there. They were like they were there last week, and then they throw together like random matches. Like they had Tegan Knox again and Naomi. Not Naomi. Sorry. You had Tegan Knox and Natty teaming up, and it's a bit like I just watched that match and I was like, okay, it's a women's match. I was like, but why? I don't like. If you took that segment out and put something else there, which was more relevant, it would have been better. Like I find sometimes they're just throwing stuff out there just to throw it. Yeah. Instead of building on other stuff that they could do.
Yeah, it's like, and look, we were saying earlier about them. They've dragged out what's going on with Priest and his briefcase for that long now. It kind of feels a bit irrelevant, and they've dragged that out too long. But
it feels like they've forgotten. That's what it feels like.
But I also feel like 3 weeks ago, Kaden Carter and Katana Chance won the women's tag team titles.
Yeah.
They had a tag team title match about 2 months before that, and they should have won it then. It's like it's almost a bit like it's like I don't know. Everything just seems to be happening later than what it should be.
And
you know what I mean?
The thing that's annoyed me with Priest's briefcase briefly was is the fact that he comes walking down halfway through the match, not running down at the end and cashing in. And then every time he goes to sort of stand up, someone comes in and interrupts him. And it's a bit like, really?
Yeah.
Drew. Why was Drew there beating him up? I don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's like they were doing this last year with Austin Theory. They had Tyson Fury to knock him out and stuff. And and they overdid it with Austin Theory. But like with Priest, he's tried to cash in 15 times over the last. That's what I'm saying. And every single time someone interrupts him, it's like, think of a different way of Well,
not only that, it's just like it's almost like they don't. It comes across like they've got Priest has got the briefcase, and then they're like, well, what do we do? Because they've got like a stack now, like you're saying, they've got people lined up already to face the World Heavyweight Champion, and it's a bit like, well, where does Priest fit in? Are we going to get a failed? I don't. The problem is, I think they've got to a problem where they're like, we want him to cash it, we want him to win it. So now they're sort of teasing us with him pulling the trigger. And it's made the briefcase irrelevant.
If
you're not going to get him to cash it in, take it fucking off him. Do a match between him and Drew McIntyre for the briefcase.
Yeah.
Whoever wins gets the briefcase.
Yeah.
And let Drew tack it in, because what you're doing with Priest, you're making him look weak.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I
it doesn't work.
They're almost in a position now where you're right. They do want him to cash in and win, but if he cashes in and wins on Roman or Seth, people are going to hate it.
Yeah.
Because, look, I like Damian Priest, but Roman Reigns is champion, dropping it to Priest, and Seth Rollins is champion, dropping it to Priest. Does it feel like a bit of a step down? It does. Because he's not on the same level as a
like you're saying, they were going to pull the trigger and then they've stopped. Like you're saying, they had that thing with JD coming in, and then there was quite a good thing about when he gave him the other briefcase. Like you're saying, they should have then gone. They should have screwed him over. But secondly, when JD was coming in, and they were like, no, Priest was like, no. He goes, there's a problem in Judgment Day, and he goes, it's that briefcase. He goes, sort it quick, and then they just dropped it. Like, what? Yeah. What? And then JD was there, and it's like they should have gone on with that. They should have done more tension between them because of the briefcase.
Yeah.
Because Balor was like, no, don't cash it in, and he was kind of stopping him from cashing in at some points.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I just think it'd have been TV gold. I mean, imagine Priest cashing in the briefcase, winning the belt. He's there holding the belt up, and then the ref opens the briefcase and it's empty. And there's no contract in it, and it's like it's void. There's no contract in it.
Yeah, so, and then Balor's there.
Yeah,
and he just does, flying kick, coup de grace, and wins it. Opens it up, leaves the paper on his chest, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And that would be gold. That would be that would blow up. That would really excel Priest. Really excel the world title. It would blow the internet up.
I mean, do you know what I'd love though? Do you know we were speaking about press conferences earlier? Do you know the press conference after the Rumble? Do you know what I'd do? At that press conference, I would invite the old David Schultz back and just have every journalist in the ring say it's fake and just watch him smack the shit out of every journalist like he did fucking years ago.
Brilliant.
Do you remember that? Do you remember
that?
The slap heard around the world?
Yeah,
but it's fake, isn't it? Is that fake? Is that
fake? And he's fucking like that on the floor. All right, mate. So we're gonna pack this up. So it's been great talking as always about wrestling. We're coming up for Mania, for the Rumble and the Mania, so we're going to do more podcasts. Yeah. Definitely one before the Rumble and then straight after. I think we need to do one.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's been nice back talking again. Thanks guys for watching. Obviously, I've been Kev.
I've been Dan. See you next time,
guys. Catch you at the next one, guys.